everyone, my name is Emily. If this is your first time ever seeing my face, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am obsessed with Disney. I work at Disney. My whole life is Disney, whether that's sad or great, up to you to decide. But today I just wanted to answer questions about what it's like being a Disney cast member. Now, of course, huge disclaimer at this current moment, as we all know, the Disney parks are closed. At least right now, I think Shanghai is open, but everywhere else is closed, and it's been the longest closure of Disney parks ever. And so because of that, all Disney cast members were put on furlough, which basically means we were laid off, but once the parks open back up, I think there's a guarantee that we'll have our jobs back, something like that. I have been working for the Walt Disney World Company since 2018. I did my Disney College program from January 2018 to August 2018, and then I transferred to being a seasonal cast member from then until now. So on my Instagram, which is at EmilyNels8, I asked you guys to just ask me questions about Disney, Disney World, the Disney College program, and what it's like being a Disney cast member. So the first question is from Riley. Hi Riley, thanks for asking a question. But she said, when having a park day, do you usually plan out what you'll do, or do you just go with the flow? It honestly depends. Like if I have like a concept for a video idea or a photo shoot or something like that, then I will plan out exactly what I'm doing at the park. If there's maybe a ride I haven't been on in a while or a friend I want to visit, that kind of stuff, sometimes I will plan out what I want to do, since, you know, everything in Disney really revolves around like wait times and the best time of the day is to do stuff and weather and stuff. So sometimes I do plan out my days, but other times I don't. And that's typically when I found the best park experiences come from just being spontaneous and just randomly saying like, oh, let's go to Space Mountain. Oh, let's go meet this random character. And then you just end up having the best interaction. Sarah asked, is it hard to make friends? And I got a lot of questions regarding making friends on your DCP. And I really wanted to talk about this because it's really not. It's actually really easy to make friends, especially in Disney, especially when you first get there. Pretty much everybody there has like that strong Disney personality. It's like joining like a Disney club, you know, and where everybody there loves the same thing. So it's super easy because most people have very similar personalities and can get along. My biggest tip is just to go on Facebook and search Disney College Program and then whatever year, semester you're doing it in, and then that will be a great place to find friends. Yeah, so the hard part then after you make friends online, because that's really easy to do, is actually going to Disney World and meeting up with them. But when you make friends online, that's a great way to help you find your DCP roommates, so that way they're not random. And then from there, chances are you'll hopefully bond with your roommates and those will become your best friends. And then from there, when you have your job, you will start to meet your coworkers, and you might love them, you might hate them, you might not feel anything at all about them, but that's another great way where people make friends. It's like the DCP itself is great, but it's such a temporary program, and not everybody stays like the way that I did and wants to live in Orlando. And so I made so many friends while just living in Orlando, but most of them left Orlando. And sadly, that's happened to me multiple times where I would make all these friends and then they would leave, and then I'm like, oh, I have no friends. Great, love this. And then I would try not to make friends with the CPs, but I wasn't working enough to make friends with my coworkers. It's really easy to make friends, it's harder to keep them. This is from Pinkcake18. How do I feel about the reopening? Do I feel safe going and working at Walt Disney World in July? Right now I'm a seasonal cast member and I work in entertainment. And now today they just announced that Disney submitted a plan to hopefully open Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom on July 11th, and then Epcot and Hollywood Studios on July 15th. Where they're gonna put off any parades, fireworks, meet and greet characters. Sadly, my job relies around everything that we're not sure about that isn't probably gonna open on the 11th or 15th. So I don't know that I'll really have a job come July. I don't know how that's gonna work. My biggest concern is I just wanna make sure it's safe. And I would never put like clout or followers or, you know, try to be the first one into the parks to get like followers over my own health and the health of others. So if I don't feel like it's safe come July, then I'm not gonna vlog, I'm not gonna worry about trying to work and get content because my health is a lot more important. But if I feel like it's safe, then I have no problem going back to the parks, probably just in a more limited amount. I think I'm going to be here in Texas until July, because that's my birthday, and if I can be in Disney World for my birthday and it's safe, I will be there. But also I have to be in Orlando anyways at the time because that's when my lease is up, so I have to actually move out of my apartment. I'm gonna be in Orlando around July 11th regardless of if I'm going to Disney World or not. Alex Main asked, is it difficult to survive financially as a seasonal cast member? So being seasonal means that you are not part-time, you are not full-time, you don't get any of those benefits, but you do get to the parks for free no matter what, and you get a few guest passes, and I think that's about it. And so as seasonal, you only have to work 150 hours per year, and so going seasonal is perfect if you have the opportunity, especially if you're in college. So you can go back to college for a semester, and then on summer break, winter break, you can come back to Disney World and try to work up to those 150 hours. It has been almost impossible for me to get hours as a seasonal cast member, especially this year. I only worked 2 times during this whole entire year. That being said, my job specifically is crazy overstaffed. However, this was all pre-COVID-19, so in the future, I have no clue. Most of the time, I really didn't try to get hours because I didn't really want to work because I was busy with like school and other stuff. I'm sure if I like tried a little bit harder, I would have been fine. And then also, I have 2 other jobs, so financially, I was fine. I didn't make most of my money from being seasonal anyway. Just Alyssa Marie wanted to know how scheduling worked for being a seasonal cast member. So pretty much you give them your availability and then they will schedule you based on your availability. You just kind of have to check your schedule and hope that they schedule you the days you said you were free. If they don't, then I would just kind of ask around and try to find someone who is giving away a shift, try to take shifts like that. WTD727 wanted to know if I would ever go full-time at Disney. At the current moment, no, I definitely wouldn't, just because I'm a full-time student and I do YouTube full-time, part-time, and I do Radio Disney kind of part-time seasonal. But once I graduated, or maybe if I got a different role, I absolutely probably would consider it, you know, for benefits and that kind of stuff. Riley.mcd asked, do you recommend going on a Disney cruise / would you ever try to work on a cruise? I thought this was a great question because, as you all might know, I just went on a Disney cruise back in March, one of the last Disney cruises that was sailing before the whole pandemic happened. Easily, it was one of the best weeks of my life. And what made it really fun is the fact that we got to be in a lot of like the adult portions, you know, so it didn't feel like we had to act like little kids. Like, we just had so much fun. If I ever were to work on a cruise, I wouldn't want to do it until after I finished college, or unless I got like a super special opportunity. But Tom and I have kind of talked about doing it, and it's definitely something we're both very interested in, but I guess the chances of us getting the same contract would be very rare. I mean, unless like just a really special opportunity came along, I probably wouldn't do it, just because I feel like for me there would be more cons than pros. It just wouldn't really do anything for me career-wise. I thought this question was really funny. It's by Rye_Sterling18, and they asked, is there a good selection of straight Disney guys down in Orlando? And I thought this question was so funny because it's such a good question. To answer your question, please don't get offended by this, anybody, but I'm gonna say no. Sadly, there is not, which made dating, especially for me, really, really hard. Ashbuilder3 asked, how many hours a week does the average CP work? And I've answered this in videos before, but I wanted to re-answer it because I feel like I always get so much hate. Like, in past videos, I'd be like, oh, well, on average, I worked a lot. I worked like 30 hours a week, and people would be like, are you kidding? Like, I work more than that a week. Like, come on, blah, blah, blah. And like, first of all, it was kind of like my first job in the real world. It's a full-time job. Like, I knew that, but that's just what I wanted to emphasize. Like, when you're on the Disney College program, yes, it's an internship, but you are working a full-time job, which means your hours could range anywhere from 30 to, I think 60 is the highest amount they could go. So for me, I was very lucky. I only worked on a range of 30 to 40 hours per week. When Toy Story Land opened, I had a lot more hours. So my hours are more like 40 to 50 hours a week, but that was only during the last month of my college program. I believe you're always guaranteed 30 hours a week, and they're not allowed to schedule you over 60. I just want to reiterate that yes, I didn't work that much. However, most people I know work a lot more. Most people work in the 40 to 50 range, just typically, and then if it's holidays or like a busier season, they'll be working in that 50 to 60 hours a week range. Some jobs will be working 5 days a week. My job, some weeks I only worked 4 days a week and I had 3 days off a week. It was great. Most people I know though would work 6 days a week and only have 1 day off. So my boyfriend Tom, for example, he was in watercraft, which is, you know, just like being a deckhand, helping with the ferry boats and stuff, and he worked 6 days a week every single week for his Disney college program. He probably averaged like 50 to 60 hours, but I'm not sure. I think it's more typical that you're probably gonna work about 40 to 50 hours a week, but it just depends on your job. Bond Eleanor asked, what are some regrets you have from UDCP? Love you, and I love you too.
Hey guys, so I just didn't really like the way I answered this question. I felt like it was kind of confusing. So this is me editing, I just wanted to re-answer it. But pretty much my biggest regret that I have from my Disney college program is just not doing enough things for myself and mainly spending my whole DCP doing things for other people. And so like when I started my Disney college program, I started gaining a lot of followers because I was just engaging in a lot of social media, which was awesome. But because of that, I got a lot of strangers just all of a sudden wanting so many things from me. Like they wanted to hang out, they wanted to do photo shoots, they wanted me to rep their business, they wanted me to give them followers, and all of that stuff can be great, but not everybody had the best intentions. And so I just kind of wish that I would have done what I wanted to do. I have a really hard time saying no to people, and that was a perfect example of why saying no is so important. Don't ever feel obligated to do things because somebody else asks you and you just want to be nice. Like, be nice to yourself, do what you want to do.
And yeah, that's all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But if you still have more questions, feel free to comment them down below and I'll try to get back to you and answer as best as I can. Be sure to subscribe if you like Disney or the Disney College Program or college or eeyore. I try to post videos as often as I can, and once the parks open up and it's safe to go, I will be vlogging. And I also am starting to post a lot on TikTok now, so feel free to follow me at EmilyNels8. I make mainly Disney videos, but also just kind of a mix of whatever I'm feeling. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!